Hi, I'm Ted, and I'm a behavioral economist, one of the large group of behavioral economists here at UEA. We're one of the longest running groups of behavioral economists anywhere in the world. Behavioral economics is one of the fields that UEA is most known for. Now, you may have heard something about behavioral economics. There's a growing number of behavioral economics books. The UK government and others have used insights of behavioral economics to inform policy decisions. But what is behavioral economics? And perhaps more importantly, how can understanding a bit of behavioral economics help you? Today, I and my friends from our group are taking you on a virtual tour of our fine city of Norwich, as seen through our eyes as behavioral economists. As economists, we're fascinated by choices. And we all make a lot of choices every day. In fact, you probably don't even realize just how many choices you make. Now, most of the choices we make are small. Do we buy one product or the other one? Do we stick with the small size or go large? Do we do something about this today or put it off tomorrow? We don't spend a lot of time thinking about each of these small decisions. We make them quickly, without thinking too deeply, or indeed, maybe without thinking consciously at all. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing, because after all, if we did deliberate on each separate decision, we'd just spend all of our time thinking and never getting anything done. But these daily decisions, although they're small on their own, can add up to something big over time. Behavioral economics can help you understand how you make those small, quick decisions, and some of the surprising, and perhaps sometimes unhelpful consequences, as well as how you can take steps to change your own decision-making. Now, when you think of economics, prices probably do spring to mind. And indeed, prices are a big shaper of the choices you make. Now, we as behavioral economists are quite interested in prices as well. And although prices are everywhere, it turns out how prices are presented can be as important as what the price is, as my friend Shahryar Banuri explores.
I'm here in beautiful Norwich, enjoying a cup of coffee. Lovely place to sit around and people watch and do a bit of thinking. And today, I've been thinking about this. So I just come back from the shop. I've got my groceries here. And all of a sudden, I just realized that I've done stuff that I've never actually done before or didn't used to do, which is I carried my bag all the way to the shop, filled it up with groceries, paid for them, and then walked back. In October of 2015, we introduced this new shopping bag surcharge. So there's a 5p charge. It was actually met with mixed reception. People, we just don't like it when we have to pay extra for something that used to be free. But over time, we've adjusted to it, and we've adjusted to it in the way that I just described, which is a person like me who wasn't a big fan of this charge, and now carrying a bag from my home to the grocery shop to do the shop. I know you could think of it in the other way, which is that instead of charging you for a bag, they could say reward you for bringing your own bag. That's another way of essentially trying to achieve the same thing. A 5p charge is like a penalty, but a 5p sort of bonus is like a reward. And so you'd think that those two things should be equivalent, but in fact they're not. So recently there was a study in Princeton University that asked this very same question, interested in whether a 5p charge on reusable bags was more effective than, say, a 5p reward for bringing your own bag. And what they found was quite interesting. People react very strongly to the penalty, to the 5p charge. Even though it's a small amount, they react very strongly by changing their behavior. By comparison, the 5p reward didn't affect behavior at all. So our reaction to losses or penalties is a lot stronger than our reaction to gains. And now they're considering putting in a 5p charge for coffee cups as well. And I tell you what, the 5p charge was quite effective in changing my behavior. I now bring my bag everywhere with me when I go to the shop. And if they're going to put in a 5p charge on coffee cups, I think I would have no choice but to keep bringing my keep cup everywhere.
Here in the UK, a recent House of Commons Library briefing paper estimated that the number of single-use plastic bags has been cut by about 70% since the introduction of the levy. Now, that's an impressive shift, and it's one that likely would not have come about with a reward-based policy. Now, as Shahar's example illustrates, we especially dislike things which feel to us like a loss, and when we perceive something as a loss, we try to avoid it if we can. When we talk about loss aversion, behavioral economists often use the expression, losses loom larger than gains. And it's this distinction between gains and losses that makes a big difference to the way we think about decisions. Have you ever shopped online and been frustrated by having to pay for shipping on top of the posted price of the item? And have you ever rejoiced to find that a merchant is offering you free shipping? If you have, you've experienced loss aversion at work. Now, when we make decisions quickly, we tend to rely on simple, relative comparisons. We look at the information that's in front of us when we make these comparisons, and we compare the options that are available. Now, comparing options on offer seems like a sensible thing to do. And of course, in principle it is. However, the way we compare options can shape our choices in surprising ways, too, as my friend Stefania explores on a trip to the cinema.
Hello, I'm here at Cinema City and I wanted to watch the latest behavioral economics documentary, but they are not showing it today. Well, I'll have to watch something else instead. As I usually do, I think I'm gonna buy some popcorn. Now, imagine there are two options, a £3 option and a £7 option. Both of them look reasonable, but given that the film is not gonna be so long, I think I'm gonna go for the £3 option. Imagine now instead there was a medium-sized option. This medium-sized option cost £6.50. Now it's 50p cheaper than the large-sized option. However, the large-sized option contains much more popcorn, so it looks in relative prices a better option. What is this medium-sized option doing is actually making me seriously consider the £7 option, while originally I just wanted to go for the £3 option. So this medium size is acting as a distraction. Now, because I'm a behavioral economist, I will not get affected by this decoy. The film is about to start, I'm gonna buy some popcorn and head in. Now, you know what, all this talking about popcorn made me feel peckish. I think I'll go for the £7 option instead. And in the meanwhile, see you at the movie.
Last autumn, we did a survey at the Norwich Science Festival using these same popcorn boxes. We showed half our visitors the small and the large boxes, asking them, suppose you're at the cinema, and thinking about buying popcorn for a snack. Here are the sizes and prices on offer. Which one would you be most likely to choose? To the other half of our visitors, we showed all three boxes, like so, and asked them the same question. Now, here's the results. On the left, when offered the choice between the small and the large only, 75% of our visitors said they'd prefer the small one. However, when the medium box was present, more people chose the large than the small. This phenomenon is often called the decoy effect, or the asymmetric dominance effect if you want to impress your friends and your teachers. You've probably been exposed to this strategy more than once. It shows up frequently when buying something online, because online, it's very easy to have multiple offers at different price points. For example, behavioral economist Dan Ariely showed an example in which The Economist magazine employed a decoy to make their print and digital subscription look attractive. In this example, they've even helpfully told you which one was the best value. Now, the examples we've seen on our tour, and indeed hundreds of others we could share with you, illustrate some of the subtle ways our decisions can be shaped. Some of these effects are mostly harmless, but others can have significant consequences when you add them up over hundreds or thousands of small individual decisions taken over the course of weeks, months, or years. Now, something that behavioral economists, and indeed most economists, worry about is people's saving habits. There's a general consensus that most people would benefit from saving more, both to cope with rainy day emergencies and to be set up properly for a comfortable retirement. My friend Boone Han has recently joined our group and has been settling into Norwich, which has given him a chance to reflect a bit on spending and saving.
So I just moved to Norwich, and all the activity that you see on a Monday afternoon just shows what a vibrant city Norwich is. Now, the thriving city centre sure gives us a lot of opportunity to spend money, but saving money is important too. So as we go through our daily lives, we make our purchasing decisions one by one. We don't compare the nice cup of cappuccino that we are having today to what that £3 could do for us someday if we had banked it or invested it. So that's why most of us are not saving as much as we should be doing. Nationwide Building Society have been promoting the idea of what is known as Payday Save Day. So what they are proposing to customers is to set up a standing order to transfer money to a savings account. Now, doing that on your payday is ideal because you know you have funds available to transfer the moment your paycheck comes in. Now, this standing order exploits the power of defaults to our advantage. Now, for most of us, our default is to save whatever we have at the end of the month. But because we don't think about saving on a day-to-day basis, this means that we have little or nothing to save at the end of the month. The standing order changes your default. When you set it up, you basically are thinking consciously about your future. This is activating a different set of decision-making processes. It's basically forcing people to place more weight on the future, and therefore is making saving a lot more attractive as an option to them. Once you have the standing order set up, saving money becomes your new default. After you set up your default, you still go back to your day-to-day activities like having a cup of cappuccino without consciously thinking about saving. However, with the new default in place, what's going to change is that you're going to have an increasing account balance. A major event in your life, such as moving to an entirely new country, is a very good opportunity for you to rethink the default options in your life. But there's no need to wait. When it comes to designing your defaults, the right time is now.
Now, we don't have any association with Nationwide. I first saw adverts for this scheme when I was originally organizing the show for Norwich Science Festival last autumn, and immediately I knew I wanted to include it. Not only is this a technique for you to make informed and conscious decisions about saving, which can have huge benefits to you and your family in the long run, the behavioral economics are so elegant. It's a simple illustration of the power of converting important decisions from the ones you do in the moment to ones you reflect on more consciously, and the important role that defaults play in shaping our decisions. Automating your savings harnesses the power of defaults to help you achieve long-term goals.
Not that kind of default, Dad.
Speaking of goals, one of the most common New Year's resolutions every year is to get into better shape. Indeed, in a busy world, we all struggle, at least some of the time, to get as much exercise as the doctors tell we ought. Time gets away from us, there's all sorts of things that need to get done, and, to be honest, although it feels great to finish a workout, it's not always the way it feels about halfway through. We've talked about loss aversion and how having to pay even a small amount can be a barrier to an activity. Some people try to remove this barrier and commit themselves to working out more by buying an unlimited use gym membership. The idea is, if you've already paid for the gym, then there's no loss from paying a per-use charge. These rarely work, though. People waste a lot of money on unused gym memberships. Although you've removed the barrier of having to pay, you haven't really changed the nature of the decision. In any moment, you still have the choice between the effort and the fatigue of a workout, or any of a number of other more immediately attractive options. So, as with saving, you still think of each decision of whether or not to exercise today individually. These behavioral biases creep in and keep you away from the gym. Every Saturday morning, tens of thousands of people turn out at over 1,000 parks worldwide, including 7 in the Norwich area, to run, jog, or walk 5 kilometers at a park run event. For fun. Without even being chased by anybody. And without paying a penny. I went over to the course at Coney Lane, next to the UEA campus, to talk a bit about the behavioral science behind parkrun's success.
I'm here on the Coney Lane playing fields between the UEA campus and the hospital for the 95th week of Coney Lane Parkrun. This week, we're celebrating the 15th anniversary of the first parkrun event in Bushy Park in London. And over the years, many people have credited parkrun with helping them make a step-level change in their physical activity, fitness, and well-being, often when other approaches such as buying a gym membership were unsuccessful. So why is it that people find such success with parkrun? The Behavioral Insights team has developed a framework, EAST, which says that for behavior change to be successful, it should be easy, attractive, social, and timely. Parkrun is easy. A simple registration on the website gets you a barcode. Print it and bring it with you each Saturday. No need to sign up each week, just turn up. And with over 1,000 events in more than 20 countries, wherever you go, there's a good chance there might be a parkrun nearby. Parkrun is attractive. It's a walk, jog, or run in a beautiful park. The course is already marked out for you. There's no traffic to worry about, no roads to cross. Just get moving, fast or slow as you'd like, and enjoy the view. And finish 50, 100, 250, or 500 events, and you're eligible for one of these fetching shirts. Parkrun is social. Each event has a designated spot for a post-run tea or coffee, either on-site or nearby. And staying around and chatting is actively encouraged. This is a subtle feature of the parkrun ethos, which actually is a cornerstone that makes the model work. Parkrun is timely. It's the same time week in, week out. You can't tell yourself, I'll do it later or leave it till tomorrow, because Saturday is parkrun day. These easy, attractive, social, and timely features of parkrun all work together to help reduce costs, both financial and importantly psychological, to encourage you to think in the longer term, how many more weeks until I get that milestone shirt, and to help you make a change in the defaults in your life. Well, it's almost 9 o'clock here, so it's about time for us to be off. See you next week.
Now, no matter what your own preference is for physical activity, you could still take a leaf from Parkrun's book in the EAST framework. There's nothing wrong with buying a gym membership or workout kit. But remember, complement them by the way you structure your decision-making. Do activities regularly at the same time each day or each week. Work out with a friend or in a group. Find your own ways to make your activities attractive to do. So, behavioral economics can help us have more fun, fatten our wallets and bank balances, while keeping ourselves fit and in fine fettle. I and my friends have really enjoyed having the chance to take you a bit around Norwich and tell you a bit about behavioral economics. And we hope that when you come and visit us, you'll see the city and the choices you make along the way through slightly different eyes. That's all we've got time for today, but we'd love to tell you more. We invite you to visit the School of Economics blog, where you'll find us opining on similar topics, as well as talking about our own latest research, or follow the school on Twitter. And we're always happy to talk to you. Please, if you see something that you're interested in on our website, or you're interested in knowing a bit more about what we do for research, please feel free to email us. Many thanks again to my friends Shahryar, Stefania, and Boonhan for being our tour guides, our filming locations and iFilm for their cooperation in helping us show off the city, and of course to you for your attention. We hope to see you soon. Bye.